Do you desire to gain control of your mind? This has been of interest to philosophers, sages, and intellectuals for thousands of years. How do we silence our mind? How do we find stillness? The ego, the intellectual mind, always thinking, always creating problems so that it may find solutions. That was useful in our evolution. The ego is what ultimately allowed us to evolve into the Homo sapiens we are today. But this ego is meant for survival, not prosperity. The ego labels and attaches itself to ideas. When we buy into the egoic thoughts, we create our own suffering. The ego's only objective is existence. We must feed the ego. During a spiritual awakening, we feed the ego what will ultimately destroy it. Questions like, who am I? Questions with no answer. Questions that require you to journey deeply, to look at yourself from an alternate perspective. Understanding that you are not your mind, you are not your body, you are simply the awareness that experiences. Are these my thoughts, or are they simply flowing through this brain that I call home? We live in a world of distractions, constantly looking at our phones, watching television, indulged in earthly pleasures. We rarely get the opportunity to look within, to contemplate. We react without reflection. We become our ego. But this is not how it needs to be. You and the ego are separate. 1 in 5 people constantly experience mental illness, more than any other time in history. Modern society has no knowledge of self. They don't know who they are. When we ask this question, we're left with materialistic, superficial answers. Answers only concerning the mind, only concerning the body. We understand our subjective experience of reality as the objective truth, unaware that we are simply perceiving an objective world through a dual lens. Step out of duality. Realize the objectivity, the interconnectivity. We have all fallen victim to the ego's games. We have fallen victim to the illusion. But it's time to lift the veil. See the true nature of consciousness, your mind, yourself. We ask the question, who am I, and get superficial answers. But when we journey deeper, we find layers and layers. We find we've known who we are all along, and this is simply a process of remembering. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the 5D.